Okay, I think it's working. I was just gonna show really quick, or like, been working at for a while, but editing these tile sets in. Let's see. Oh, where is it? Default grid pixels. I think it's like that. Yeah, 48 by 48. Line style solid. Be dashed. Background color. Okay. View. Show grid. No, that's not right. The spacing should be these little cubes. Oh, actually, no. One second. I forgot how to set up the grid. 48 by 48 pixels. That's it. Hmm. Let's see if this is still working. So we're just testing this. Yeah, it is working. Cool. Okay. Except I don't know how to do this, but zoom in. Like, this is all goofed up. And then approximately this little area. Okay, I got it. Yeah, dashed 48 by 48. Reset. There. That's better. And then snap to grid. So now, if you go like that, there. Okay, so why is this one? Edit, copy, open. Pictures. Files. Image tile sets. These are PNGs. Now open forest, PSF, lodge, blood. Sorry, no. PSFA, lodge. I believe that's right. No, not even that. It's the forest one. Maybe you could just use the lodge one. I don't know. That might be more useful. Well, whatever. Just do this for now. Open. Okay, so up here, this is not showing the grid. Show the grid. Snap to the grid. And I can just get rid of just one of these. So what's the least used is probably this like stick one with the shadow. There's not really anything on here that's gonna get this stick thing with the shadow. Please, Lord, this is the weirdest cursor. Edit. Clear. Paste. And then, is there another one in the other? There's like these blotches. That could be useful. And then this manhole lid here. Okay, so you can use these shortcuts. Manhole lid. Just go ahead and get rid of a bunch of these. Oh shit. Why did that get rid of my splotches? Where did the splotches go? Lid, the closed manhole lid. And what else is useful here? We have all these other things. Okay, so I'm just gonna file. Save as. It's not gonna let me save as that. Export as PNG. There we go. PSF A5 Forest Street. And then just export that. Hopefully all of this will be fine. Go back to rmmv. Open the database. Victoria Street. Actually, no, I don't need this one. Delete this one. This one gets PSF A5 Forest Street. Oh shit. Oh wait, I deleted it. PSF Victoria 1 there. Now, all of these should mostly stay the same. All this stays the same. Now go back through here. Fill all these regions. Fill this region, this region, this region. Here. Oh shit. Forgot about these. So still have to probably do a tile set flip. Because those are still there. These ones. These ones. Those are required for up there. These are not. Really? No, these aren't at all. So then the question is there going to be houses in this area? And if there's going to be houses, oops, then you still want to do flip the tile set, but you guess actually paste. Edit Victoria Street. Okay, so it has not the forest ones, but it's gonna have these exterior ones. This. Okay. So now, go back to here. This thing is, if the player is facing down, it's going to load tileset Victoria Street. Player's facing up, it's going to load Victoria 1. We start out in Victoria 1. Then, in fact, let me fix that one real quick. Yeah, there we go. We start out in Victoria 1 here. Let's move this up. Out of view. Put the player above it. So in Victoria 1, we can't get to the street tiles. We can get to the other tiles. Let me see if this is still working. I think it is. Nice. I think. Let's see. Testing? It seems to be working. In fact, I could copy this and go to my stuff and post it here. Does it work? Does not seem to be a link. Stream URL? How's that a URL? Does that work? Whoa, what the heck? That does not work. it's live, but how do I... What the heck? How do I get the link? Is it from here? What time is it? I gotta go to work in there. I don't know. Here, share. Copy. Paste. Okay. Wow, I just... Whoa, look at the size of it. How do you like that? Okay. So that's actually... Wow, I just... Whoa, look at the size of it. How do you like that? Okay. Nice. Okay. So that works, and I can set the mic a tiny bit louder without it being terrible. And then go back to this. So we got the custom tile set for the street loaded. Can't quite see these lines, but that's okay. Where's the double one? This one. Holy shit. That? It's weird. Let's see. Okay. And then put these around it. This. Nice. It used to be you could use Google Hangouts on Air and just desktop capture from the little YouTube thing here. Now they have the YouTube live stream. Fortunately, I already had this thing, OBS, and it streams. And it's easy to use. So then, of course, there's analytics all over it. Which I wish I could just deactivate it so that it wouldn't go through any like filters and stuff. Whatever. And then go to here. So the idea is that now, if I change this map back to Tutorial 1, the street looks like insanity. This is, these are like pieces of tent tiles. And down there is something else, like a different piece of the tent. So none of this map would be working right now. But with the map loader, before it can even see the map, is it picking up this wing somewhere? Oh, it is. That's cool. Without it being able to see the map yet, we run across. I'm supposed to be able to walk through that. We run across. So then the street map is there, right? And we run back north, like, oh, get rich or something. And it's back to the other map. So that's one way to have these big maps. See the map is really huge. Let's turn off the ambient light and just turn off the sound effect. I'll put the player up here where that bear creature is. So we're way up here. And this is still a big area of map. Even like side to side, it's not big. You can see it's really narrow from side to side. Here's another thing: the audio pans with like the proximity to the monsters. And that plugin, it pans really nicely. It positions it pretty good. Shoot, it's loud. This thing's really loud. Get him to chase me. Set it so you have to be really close to him for him to chase. And then just run off through the woods here. So even with this huge map, by the time I get to this street, from the top of the map, it's still not using up all the stamina. Let's see how much stamina it uses. They have to just stand. Nope, can't kill me. Oh shit, I pressed the wrong button. Okay, stamina bar fills up. Go to the top of the map. And let's say all you had to do was like outrun this thing for a while. Get it chasing. Run all the way from the top of the map. Oh, he got stuck on something. There it is. All the way from the top of the map to the bottom of the map. And that only used like 60% stamina. How far can a person run? They cannot run very far. Killing him should have spawned some rats. Or at least one rat. It has detected me from 100 tiles away. This thing is clear across the map. There it is. Took it a while to run over here. Is rats with a different face? Close that. So now, basically, assuming it can just keep editing things from one tile set into the next tile set, then can be sort of an not infinite tiles on the map, but just going near a different region will keep the same forest tiles but spawn different tiles that would be useful for like houses. So like rather than streets, it would be like tents and wooden bridges and stuff like that. I haven't used those at all yet. Anyway, so there's that. And I just want to expand these maps to be really huge, so that when the monster fights happen, it's like can run all over the map, and I can potentially, I don't know, yeah, out of problem of somehow have to contain the edges of maps. So let's say, even if this map is like even still bigger, let's make it twice the size. 200 by, oh, and it maxes out. That looks like 256. Holy shit, what was that? Yep, 256 by 256. Which is huge. But still, actually that's really big. It won't even zoom out nearly that much. To run from there to there was 60% stamina. So to run from like, there to there would be impossible on one stamina bar. That's kind of the, one of the useful things. You can shorten the stamina bar in all sorts of ways. Injuries, illness, infection, hunger, thirst, tiredness, all these things can shorten the stamina bar. You can make the player's vision get all scrambled, and I'll do all this stuff to make it harder to play. And then the idea is like, okay, like when monster appears, like, I don't know, at a house like here, and then you've got to run all the way to there for safety or something like that. And there's like all these items to use to help do things. Like you can have what was it? I haven't put in a lot of them yet. Like things like this, like a speaker to emit sounds to distract things. Where's the tincture? These are foods that can be eaten. So like this one, this smart speaker. This one can go here with the defense items. So put like this habanero tincture on, and you're walking through these woods, and there's gonna be monsters roaming around here because they killed you 5 times trying to get through, and you can't overpower them with your crappy knife or your crowbar. So you put the habanero tincture on, you're walking through, the monsters avoid you. Let's say you get over here, suddenly you gotta wander through some water, like a fast, like a big deep pool of water, who knows what. Tincture gets all washed off, walk through a waterfall, tincture comes off, and then all of a sudden these monsters are picking up your scent. You hear them trying to kill you from across the map. So then you gotta, make a break for it, run this way. And, everything's chasing and stuff. You make some monsters go much faster or slower than the player. So some of these things look funny from... Like this looks really square from far away. It's like, no, not that. It's kind of, hey. Which one of these is it? There. Jeez. I didn't realize this one was using that tile. It's not really a great tile to use. It's like a round border and stuff. Anyway, so you have a huge map. So then let's say this little cabin right here, which is tiny, like this little corner, could be there, right? So you can actually walk all the way up to it through all this peril and danger, get to that cabin, something bad happens, gotta go run all the way away from it. I guess my favorite zombie game is, some of them, like Resident Evil, is usually wasn't like open-ended. It was like you can't purchase a rocket launcher in the middle of nowhere with like points, and you can go in and out of houses and the forest like kind of all at once. So let's say you get to this house. Here's the exterior of it, which that's actually pretty big. And this inside of this house is like measured correctly. It's like the same tiles outside and inside, I think. So get here, and you can access this full area, and then run into like all this other area around here. Is that really how big that map is? And then the house itself. Yeah, it makes sense. Just has a lot of blank forest area around it, but so there's the house. There's the garage, stuff like that. Access all these things from the inside, and then transition to the outside, and then hopefully the outside be basically, it's like each house is either gonna have to be on a big map like this. Like let's say there's a house here and a house here. That way you can run from house to house and through the forest and stuff, and that there's lots of room. Otherwise, if it's like this, then it needs to have a lot of its own property around it for that kind of... I don't know exactly how that'll work, but it might be something like... Where is it? Like this here sets a variable for the location of the player, sets a variable for the all that stuff. Actually, there's a better example. I figured all this stuff out like last year because it really took a lot of time. Shoot, trying to think where it's at. This one. And then this one, this one, this one. There's a piece of code in here somewhere that is this one. It's constantly checking the distance from the zombie to the player. This is the way I used to have zombie sound set up before I got that plugin. I had to calculate the distance from the zombie to the distance to the player. And then using that, it would activate things to happen if that distance got to a certain point. So what you could do is you could say like, okay, there's Jeez, I'm clicking on things around here. What map is it? House. This one. Zoom out. Let's say run out through this door of this house. There's 3 zombies triggered to chase you. And they are chasing. You run out the door. You run off the map edge here. No matter where you run off the map's edge, whatever tile it is, it'll check the distance from the player to each zombie. And then it also has to have a way of knowing where the player ran off the map. Like which part of the edge. So maybe that would be a variable too. So then the player suddenly appears on the edge of the other map. So they ran onto this map from the other map. As soon as they run onto the map, it can use the variable of how far those zombies were from behind the player, and it can just make each one wait a certain amount of time before it appears on the edge. And then using the location of where on the edge, it can do that. So it can load a zombie like here or there or wherever. And then as the player runs through the map, the zombies would chase it that way. You would also have to kill the zombies on the other side of the map at the same time. They'd be really difficult to do. If you ran back onto the other side of the map, the zombies would still be there. So I don't know. There could be some way to do it. The other thing to do is maybe like just sort of put something in danger. Like if you ran onto one side of the map, or this or that or whatever. Like let's say here, and this map's really huge. You could come up with some reason that you can't leave the map if there's monsters chasing. Or presume that you outran them. Something. The most logical thing would just be if it's all just a giant map. So that it's like no edges to the battles and stuff. But sure what tiles is on. But it's tough to do, yeah. Then, because even in a huge map, and it really doesn't take that long to create these maps. Even in a huge map. If you got in a fight with zombies here, outran them all the way over to here, came back, found them there, outran them all the way to there, dove off the edge of the screen and landed there, they should still be able to come flooring in the side of the screen. So that'll probably be a tough thing to do, but at least all the other stuff works. There's unlimited enemy chases because diagonal movement is turned off. All the systems work. Everything seems to work. I think even it'll be possible to get it to work in Linux, and I have not quite tried it in Mac, but nobody complained. So, well, I'm gonna eat food and I gotta go work. I'm gonna shut this stream down.